Hey everyone, welcome to The Word on the Street Is with Michael and Gabby, where we mention it all about your favorite Bravo celebrities and the shows they star in.
This week's episode is extra special because it's our first time having an actual Bravo celebrity on our show. Her name, you might all know her, is Chef Natasha from Below Deck Sailing Yacht Season 2. Hey, Natasha.
Hi.
We're so excited to have you. Actually, both of us have kind of interacted with you before. I actually did the Zoom cooking class that you did around the premiere when the premiere was happening. And then Gabby actually did Watch What Happens Live with you. So we both kind of interacted a little bit with you already.
Are there any Bravo shows other than The Real Housewives that you watched before joining Bravo?
I did watch a bit of Below Deck actually. So Below Deck Mediterranean. Yeah. More or less that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So is that what got you into the show and made you want to audition to be on it?
Actually, no. It was a bet from my friend. She's like, "You're so sassy, you should join the show." And I was like, "No, I don't want to." And she's like, "Yeah, you should totally take a go for it." And I was like, "No." And then I did it because we make a bet that I can go and I would quit. I wouldn't quit or I would get fired, and I did it to prove her wrong. So yeah, that's how it was kind of a bet that I did the show on and I did it. So yeah.
That's awesome. So you won the bet, I take it.
I guess I won the bet.
Are there any like characters that you really enjoyed on the Below Deck shows, like Captain Lee or Captain Sandy?
I like Captain Lee actually, and it's not like there's this controversy going around like, oh, does Natasha hate Captain Sandy? Does she like Captain Sandy? For me, as I say, I'm always up for the challenge. Everybody working techniques is different, and yeah, I like Captain Sandy. I like Captain Lee. Let me see who again. I like Ciara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like Ciara. She's cool as well.
So you watched Below Deck Sailing Yacht before you came on. Did you have like any expectations of Captain Glenn?
I actually didn't watch the sailing one a lot, to be honest.
Okay.
The only person I knew was Madison, and I just liked that she was just wild and free. So that's all the only person that I really knew from the show. But to say, oh, I knew Captain Glenn, I didn't.
Okay, that's awesome. So you are a Michelin star rated chef. I mean, so few people in the world can call themselves that. We had a couple of questions we wanted to ask you about your culinary background. And one of them is what is your favorite Michelin star restaurant that you've actually worked at?
For me, that will be Mirazur. It's the number one restaurant in the world today. It's in Menton in France. It's for so many reasons. It's because when I started working there, they were the 11th best restaurant in the world. And it was my first Michelin star restaurant that I worked at. And to see that we have become like the number one Michelin star restaurant in the world today, it's very motivating to see because the chef, he's not French, but it just shows that if it is you work hard, no matter where you are, once you have your dream ahead of you, anything is possible.
Yeah. Did you see any correlations between like French cuisine and Trinidadian cuisine where you're from?
Of course not. The French are so articulate. The French are so articulate. They don't use spices. Come on, I'm from the Caribbean. That's where we are full of fusion. We have the Indians, we have the Africans. It's just like a melange of flavor.
Yeah.
Where the French are very, straightforward and okay, let's have a apple tart and some beef bourguignon, like that's it, so
yeah, that's a really good point. Working in a Michelin rated restaurant, do you have the freedom to add your own twist onto the different dishes you make the way you're able to on a charter?
No, you don't. So this is the reason why I do not want to work in a Michelin star restaurant. Working in a Michelin star restaurant obviously shaped my career as a chef, but I think when even like being a Bravoleb or even having cameras on you all the time, there's an expectation that you can't live up to, it's not real. You can't do it all the time. And that's why I wanted to be in a place where I'm free to do what I want and to have my own twist on my what I love doing. And yeah, doing that on my own and not working under somebody's one of the most amazing things I can think about doing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You were so creative with so many of your dishes that we saw on Below Deck, like that really cool dessert table that looked like a work of art that JL used as a slip and slide.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
And I
that was
love the dishes that we did in the cooking class too. I actually made the hummus again after the cooking class because it was so good.
What was it like filming during COVID? Because, like you said, you watched the seasons prior of Below Deck, and obviously the dynamic of those shows is different because the earlier seasons weren't filmed during COVID. So, how do you think COVID shaped like the filming of this season?
Well, I wouldn't know how it is really, but I think it's just like a whole experience, you know. I think I was fortunate to have the opportunity to even be there during COVID, you know, and
Yeah.
obviously, you know, the producers, we practice 100% proper caution with you know, like sterilizing things and having COVID tests done regularly. So it was crazy, but it was an amazing experience to even live through something like that, you know. So yeah, but it's fun, you know. I tell anybody.
Is there anything you discovered about yourself during the pandemic that you weren't expecting to discover?
Um, I can become frustrated. I hate being bored. Like I hate it. Like it's like, I sure we all experience it in our own way, you know. Like it's frustrating. It shows that, you know, like how much we need each other, you know, and how much we need to support each other because, you know, it's a crazy time that nobody expected. And even with filming, it's everything have taught me a lot in that chapter of my life that I think was essential for the growth of me becoming who I am, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure going on the show was a blessing too during the pandemic because you got to be around people and you also got to meet lifelong friends along the way too.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. You and Danny got really close during the season. Do you think you're going to travel to the land down under at some point to
Of
meet her
course,
baby girl?
as soon as the borders are open, I'm going to Lily. Like as soon as, and not only Ali, Danny, and I are really close as well. Like we like, you know, the three of us, we speak all the time. As soon as the borders are open, Auntie Natasha is going to see them. You know, like I can't wait.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Danny and
Yeah.
Ali both seem like they're genuinely really nice people. It doesn't seem like they just act that way for the cameras.
No, they are. They are. What you see is what you get. You know, we, as I said, we all have different moments in our life, and that's what makes us humans. And I think that's what we need to accept people for who they are, not what we want them to be. You know.
Totally.
I can't wait to see that reunion.
So what was your absolute if you can choose one? I know this might be a bit broad of a question, but what was one of your very, very favorite things about working on the yacht?
Let me see. Favorite thing. I think both the good and bad. As you say, I can't choose one moment. But if it was it would be the last day. That moment was such like sincere. I think it wasn't shown, but it showed how much we have grown and the friendship and bond you could have in such a small space of time. It was one of the greatest moments for me, actually.
I will say, I think I've watched like quite a few seasons of Below Deck, and it seems like the crew this season had a better connection than they normally do. Like even watching the reunion, it just seems like you guys were all just like a tight knit family.
Yeah, you know, and that's, you know, this is what I try to tell people now, you know. I think the world have a perception of perfection, but perfection is, sorry, I don't know if I can use this, but it's being fucked up as well. That's what life is. We need to accept people in their high and lows, and that's what perfection is. And in any family, you want to hate them, you want to kill them, but it don't mean that you don't love them. That's it. And for me, what we built, the high, the lows, the in between, is what made us who we are. And yeah, that for me was, as I said, an important chapter of my life that I would have for the rest of my life to remember.
For sure. Yeah. And I feel like you get to know people a lot quicker when you're together 24/7. There's really no privacy. There's
Oh,
cameras,
that's
you
what
can't
makes it good
escape
about
it.
our doggy. It's like, and the thing is like, you can't even hide your emotion, it's like, for
No.
how long could you hide who you really are? If you're angry, or, like if you're crazy, it have to come out at some point, so yeah.
Yeah, y'all have no privacy. There's even cameras in your bedrooms. Like we see you guys like
Yes.
changing and laying in bed.
Ooh, all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, and zero privacy.
What was the
I
first thing you did when you got home after the whole experience?
You really want to know, lock myself away for a month, and I didn't want to see anybody.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I didn't want to see anybody, and I was hypersensitive that anything I was doing, I was being filmed.
I bet.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That must be such an adjustment to go from cameras 24/7 to no cameras.
Yep. And even like from having no cameras to having cameras, it's like a bit of shock, to everything. So yeah.
And as you go back and watch the show, is there anything you would have done differently?
Nope. I wouldn't do anything differently. I love every aspect of the show, and I don't think there's anything I would change from it.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great. You can look back and just be filled with pride and all the beautiful dishes you made and the friendships that you formed, for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Was it weird watching yourself back like after the season? Was there anything that you saw air that was unexpected?
Not really, at some things obviously I was annoyed about, obviously everyone knows the hypersensitive topic, the eggs. But if we look closely, I didn't have good pans to make the eggs in,
Yeah.
But it is what it is, as I said, like I wouldn't regret it. It will make me who I become, who I'm supposed to be. My life is full of failures and mistakes, and that's who I am. I don't want to be pictured as perfect,
Totally.
Yeah, that's a good philosophy to have.
And so we know you're still close with Danny and Allie, are planning on spending time with them once you're able to. Are you allowed to share with us who your least favorite person on the cast is?
I don't have a least favorite.
Oh, that's very big of you. That's awesome.
Yeah, Daisy and I, if you are waiting to hear Daisy and I, we still speak, I would say every day, but we still do speak to each other and keep each other like informing each other's life. And Sydney, I'm planning to meet her in October. So yeah, I wouldn't say anybody's least.
That's awesome.
So you're still close with everybody then, or still talk to everybody then?
Yeah, I have a good relationship more or less with everybody.
That's awesome.
And you had mentioned to us that you have a favorite Bravo-lebrity. Can you share with us who that is?
Tiffany
Moon from The Real Housewives of Dallas?
Yes, I love her.
That is so iconic. Yeah, we're obsessed with her.
She is so classy. She's like the definition of elegant.
So, yeah, I love her TikToks. I discovered her on TikTok before Housewives, and I was obsessed with her then, and I just became more obsessed with her.
Because like she's like the perfect package. She's intelligent, she's classy, she's a mom. And she just have this class and this sass that I love. It's like yeah, she's a whole package.
Yeah, she really is the total package. I'm always like, is there anything she can't do? I love her.
I know. And she's so beautiful. And she's,
she's smart. She's elegant. She has an amazing closet. Amazing kids.
Amazing closet.
Would you ever do this experience again?
I don't know.
Probably need some time to think about it.
Right now, no. Right now, I want my privacy.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
I bet Natasha would want to do another charter if Barry were the primary guest again.
And Erica together.
Actually, I have no problem. With Barry. Barry and I are really good friends.
Oh, nice. Did you guys stay in touch after he had his holiday?
Yeah, I went to dinner with him last 2 months. I actually spoke to Barry yesterday. It's funny. I spoke to him yesterday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I'm glad that you guys became friends after. How cool.
Yeah. Barry just needs to get the same sass he gave. That's all. And we know I can be sassy.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. You've got his number now. So that sounds like that was the perfect thing.
He was for sure one of the most interesting charter guests I've seen on that show.
He is, but you know, you can't judge somebody from who they are.
No.
You know, that's just who he is, you know?
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Well, thank you so much, Natasha. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Yeah,
It was a
thank you.
pleasure. Thank you. Have a nice night.
You
or
too.
evening.
You
Or I
too,
don't know what time.
Natasha.
Is your
Thanks,
time.
Natasha. Have a good night.
Bye.